You can be as involved as you want. Either way, I'm good.
2 weeks later.
I'm his father.
You're barely ever here. And you never check in, not about his swimming or food. And you don't even give me more than 3 hours notice when you're not coming.
I have a job, okay? I check in when I can.
But what if we needed something? You get to come in and play part-time good dad after I've already fixed everything.
All right, look, I'm trying here, okay? This shit is hard for me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part is hard for you? Oh, the free time or the full night's sleep? Which part?
Shut up.
I hate how fathers get to pick and choose when they want to be a father, and we don't. Single mothers deal with a lot of things on a day-to-day basis. Fathers get that time off. We don't get time off to get ourselves together. We don't get time off to chill and get our mind straight. Everybody say, oh, he trying, be grateful because he trying. This is why we don't like to hear that shit, and y'all feel like females or women be so bitter, or baby mothers be so bitter where the dad is concerned. Because it's like, if I'm looking at this child in my face all fucking day, every day, I have to consider them for every single thing. I mean, some of us can't even take a bath, but a lot of y'all niggas wouldn't even know what that means. Because, when y'all away, y'all away. Y'all can totally detach and, be living y'all life. A lot of y'all really get to live the life that you live because of the baby mother that you have. Yeah, it's her that makes sure those children do and get everything that they need. Yeah, you may be taken care of financially, but if you're not there on a day-to-day basis, figuring out shit and, doing the things that the tasks and the duties that mama normally do, if you can't just automatic pick up the slack without mama having to ask, or, or even when she do ask, if you can't just automatically jump on board and do this, that, and the other, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like at all.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no wonder you get D's and everything.
Black women something else, man. What is wrong with you?
Trigger warning. We about to break this down, and a lot of people ain't gonna like it because I get kind of tired of the same narratives, but nobody really breaking down what's really going on. Because for some reason, we keep conflating single parent and custodial parent and don't want to separate it. Now, she said a lot in this video, and I want to break it down because everything she's saying isn't a single parent complaint. This is a custodial parent complaint. This isn't a single mother issue. This is a custodial parent issue. Let's get to it.
I hate how fathers get to pick and choose when they want to be a father, and we don't.
All right, so let's stop right there. So we're going to keep it plain as single mother, single father, baby mama, baby father. The custodial parent is the mother, the non-custodial parent is the father. Because in most cases, that's what it is. It's not that she's doing more because she's a mother. She's doing more because she's the custodial parent. And based off of what she just said, in my opinion, how I heard it, you just jealous because you're not the non-custodial parent. Because let's talk about custodial and non-custodial. The non-custodial parent is always going to have more freedom, regardless, whether it's the father or the mother. The non-custodial parent is always going to have more freedom. It's not that they're able to just pick and choose what they want to do with their life. They have more time and freedom to do it because the kids don't feel their schedule the way the custodial parents is. So the thing about being a custodial parent doesn't just mean that the kids stay with you. The custodial parent also means that you have more responsibilities because the kids stay with you. The custodial parent is always going to do more than the non-custodial parent. Point blank, period. That's just the reality. If you want custody of the kids, then you're going to have more responsibilities because the kids stay with you. That's your lifestyle. So to look at the non-custodial parent and be like, well, how come you get to maneuver how you want to maneuver? Well, that's because the kids don't stay with them. So your complaint about you get to do it and I don't just sounds like jealousy. Because if you want to, then you can just become the non-custodial parent and go live your life how you want to live it. But that's just the lifestyles of a non-custodial and a custodial parent. They got two different lifestyles. It's unrealistic to think that they will have the same lifestyle. But let's continue.
Our children don't understand when we ain't got enough to really make a meal for real. When we tight around the house and you feeding everybody. Some days you probably not even eating. They don't understand when you ain't got it for them to go somewhere, a place or get certain things, but fathers get that time off. We don't get time off to get ourselves together. We don't get time off to chill and get our mind straight.
Of course you don't get time off. You're the custodial parent. They stay with you. There is no time off from people who live with you. If you're in a role, then you're not going to get time off. And if you're within a specific role, you're not going to get time off from that role because you are held responsible for making sure things get done. Let's flip it for a second. So say there's a guy, he's the provider of the household and he has to continue to work. He don't get time off because the household depends on him to provide. Say that guy gets jealous of his wife or of his woman and say you get to pick and choose when you want to work. You get to get a part-time job here and then quit that job and then go to another job here and find a hobby. You get to pick and choose when you want to work. You go to work some days and then you call off another day and then you're on vacation another day. You pick and choose when you can help provide. But I have to always work. I don't get time off. But he don't get a chance to take a break because everybody's depending on him to provide for them. That's just the responsibility of having a role, not looking at the other person and getting jealous because your role requires more out of you than it does out of them. And your role requires more out of you because of the position that you're in, not because their role is less than yours, but you have a different position than they do. This is where the practicality of things come in and not this ideal of how you think things should be based off of just how you see things. Oh, me and him should be equal in this, but y'all not equal because y'all situation ain't equal. Y'all positioning isn't equal. Y'all proximity to the children aren't equal. Your accessibility and availability isn't equal. But I'm gonna get more into that in a little bit.
Fathers get to pick and choose every single day what they, and this not to take away from single fathers because I'm gonna get to y'all in a second, but that children don't understand when we can't do certain things. They don't understand when we tired, when we sick. Some of y'all niggas couldn't do this at all. Couldn't walk a mile in some of our shoes. Doing the shit that we do, y'all can't even y'all brains don't even function like that,
So you're saying this ain't for single fathers, but at the same time, there are single fathers who do the exact same thing. Taking care of responsibility is taking care of responsibility, whether you're the woman or the man. You say, well, he can't walk a mile in your shoes. He can't think the way you think. Well, he's not supposed to, but he gets the job done. Single fathers still get the job done. They might not do it the way you would do it.
My man talking.
But they still get the job done. And the problem is the parental gatekeeping of thinking that the father is supposed to do everything the same way the mother does. But y'all different for a reason. He's not going to do certain things the way that you would do it. But it will still get done. So you do it how you do it and he do it how he do it. Because at the end of the day, he can say the same thing about you. I don't understand where this ego of you can't do it like me come from. Nobody has to do it like you. They can do it like how they do it and still get the job done. Parenting does not mean to do everything like the mom. That's not parenting because a lot of y'all ain't got it figured out either. A lot of y'all are figuring it out as you go. There was times where you might have gave the baby too much medicine or served the wrong food that caused an allergic reaction. All that was under your watch. But you were trying to figure it out. You didn't get penalized for that. I don't know where this ego comes from thinking that you have all the answers to parenting. You don't. You do more because you're the custodial parent, but the quantity of what you do does not correlate to the quality of what you do. There's situations where I've seen a single father do more for the kids to get things situated in 2 days than the mom did the whole week, because it's not about how much you do, it's about whether you do things right. But let's get back to it.
I just think that it's really fucked up how y'all get to pick and choose on when y'all want to do shit and when you don't. You know, you can check in and check out at your own convenience. Oh yeah, I just ain't been able to do. You know, I've been fucked up, and that's that. No penalty at all.
Like, what is the penalty? Like, what is this penalty she's talking about? Like, what is it supposed to be? What's supposed to be the penalty? Because really, I'm trying to keep this as generalized as possible, because I know what she's talking about. She's talking about the obvious situation of a deadbeat not doing what he's supposed to do, which I don't understand why we complain about deadbeats. You already know they're not going to do what they're supposed to do. We already know that situation isn't going to be good. It's not going to turn out with the right results. We know this already. So I don't know what that complaint is about. So I'm trying to figure out, what is the penalty supposed to be? What is the penalty supposed to be for the non-custodial parent who can't help as much as they may want to at the time that she needs it? Because to me, what's the difference between if you were in a marriage and your husband lost their job? You would have to pick up the pieces, no? Or is it that you don't like the idea of out of sight, out of mind? You can't watch him while he's doing it, while he's trying to figure things out and pick himself back up. He don't stay with you, so you can't keep an eye on him.
No penalty. Nobody don't look at, and then everybody say, oh, he trying, you know, be grateful because he trying. This is why we don't like to hear that shit, and y'all feel like females or women be so bitter, or baby mothers be so bitter where the dad is concerned. Because it's like, if I'm looking at this child in my face all fucking day, every day, I have to consider them for every single thing. I mean, some of us can't even take a bath without our children sitting on the floor while we showering. We can't eat by ourselves. Give me some, I want some. You gotta feed them while you eating, which, like, sometimes you gotta sit in the car just to get a woosah.
Now, this is the part that I really want to respond to. Hold on. Now, wait, before I get into that, I want to chime in right here for a second. Now, are children needy and clingy? Absolutely. But truth be told, a lot of that clinginess, they only do that with you. They don't do that with nobody else. They sleep on the bathroom floor with you. They don't do that at their grandparents' house, at their daddy's house, at their relatives' house. They only do it around you. Because some of y'all are not good at teaching structure and boundaries and think that potty training is the only training that needs to be done. And some of y'all are really only potty trained because the daycare or the school requires it, not because you want to, if we really keep it in the buck. That in your face 24/7 around you all the time, they only do it with you because everybody else tells them to go sit down and gives them something constructive to do, to occupy their time. You're the only one that put up with it and then get mad because you're the only one that puts up with it. But let's get back to the video. Because what it sounds like the expectation is of the non-custodial parent is to be available as if they are the custodial parent, even though they're not. Of course the kids are going to be in your face all day. You know why? Because they live with you. Of course they attached to your hip. They live with you. That's just the lifestyle. That's what comes with it. How is the non-custodial parent being at fault because they're not there, even though they don't live there? You know what? Let me let this finish a little bit more before I really make my point.
A lot of y'all really get to live the life that you live because of the baby mother that you have. In all honesty, because it's her that makes sure those children do and get everything that they need. Yeah, you may be taken care of financially, but if you're not there on a day-to-day basis, you know, figuring out shit and, you know, doing the things that the tasks and the duties that mama normally do, if you can't just automatically pick up the slack without mama having to ask, or, you know, or even when she do ask, if you can't just automatically jump on board and do this, that, and the other, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like at all.
They're not going to know what it's like because they're the non-custodial parent. If you're looking for the day-to-day, daily hustle and grind of the parenting, then they might as well just stay with you.
My man talking.
Y'all should have just stayed together. What you're talking about is someone who stays with you. Really, you talking about a husband. That's what you really talking about. Y'all should have got married because the husband has the proximity and the availability to do it because he's there. He lives there. Of course, he's going to be engaged on a day-to-day basis. If you want him to be that available and that accessible to be engaged in the parenting like that, y'all might as well just stay together. It's the unrealistic expectations to me. You're expecting the non-custodial parent to be just as engaged as the custodial parent, even though they're not even available like the custodial parent. Make it make sense to me. Of course, they're not going to know a lot of different things from a day-to-day standpoint. How could they? You're not looking for a co-parenting relationship. You're looking for a marriage. Every non-custodial parent has limitations. There's a limit to their accessibility and their availability and their resources. You're like, well, I need you to do what I do. They probably do what you do when they have them. But when they don't, they don't. That's not picking and choosing when to be involved. That's just limitations of the parenting. And if you're talking about your baby father that lives there, wanting them to do more, then that's something different. But you're not talking from that context. You're talking from the context of a person who doesn't even live in the household. If you want that much more time on your hands, then give up the custody then. Stop trying to have both. You want to live your life and keep custody of the kids and then complain because it ain't working out that way. Because like I said, this ain't a single mother issue. This is a co-parenting, custodial, non-custodial issue. And you're frustrated because the kids are always with you. Where else they gonna be? They don't understand when you're tired. They don't understand when you're sick. They're not supposed to. Because honestly, it don't matter. This is your responsibility. You can't blame them for not understanding it. They didn't ask to come here, and they didn't ask to be with you. Not only did they not ask to come here, they didn't ask to stay here with you. You chose all of this.
A lot of times we feel guilty about wanting a break, needing help. Like y'all really be feeling like single mothers should be superheroes.
But let's bring up the fact also that there are single fathers that want to help, but because he don't do things the way you do it, you don't let him help. We don't want to bring that up either. The parental gatekeeping. If he doesn't do everything exactly the way that you would do it, he ain't doing it right. He doesn't get the grace of figuring out how to parent the way that you got the grace of figuring out how to parent. Because nobody was there to penalize you when you was late to pick them up from daycare or drop them off to school or in the emergency room because they jumped off of your couch. Nobody was there to penalize you while you was figuring it out. But that is the issue of a lot of this. Now, I'm not attacking her. I probably should have prefaced with that. But she does represent, based off of what she's saying, she represents a lot of women's perspective and perception of co-parenting. And I'm going to leave the link to her video in my description because she does go more into flipping the script and start talking more about what single mothers are doing. But this narrative and rhetoric that she's saying is pretty much a misconception in my opinion, because it's only showing one element of what's really going on. Because it's always about baby mama, baby daddy, but it's never really about custodial, non-custodial. But leave y'all perspective down below, man. Tell me what y'all think. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.